What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today, I'm going to be working on making my base look a whole lot cooler because, well, to be honest, compared to Cody's beautiful, luscious, amazing looking base, mine is, it's a little lame. It's a little lame. I mean, honestly, as it currently stands, my base isn't the worst thing I've ever built. I mean, the outside looks pretty cool, and the inside isn't too bad either. I tried to go for that, you know, super lush kind of cave look. But it serves no functionality. There is literally nothing in my base that actually serves a purpose. It's just two kind of empty rooms. And then, of course, I've got a little hole dig out in the side of this mountain for my chest monster. Because, I mean, what's a survival world without a chest monster? You need at least one to have a good survival world. But today, my main focus is to get my base to look a little bit prettier. Because, let's be honest, compared to Cody's, mine looks like a pile of trash. I mean, just look at the amount of detail that goes all the way up the mountain. It's insane. And he's actually just built this little shop. Wow. I just noticed this. He did a good job with the banners. Welcome. This is the building contract shop for CT Shock. You can contract me to build either small, medium, or large builds. Price is being determined, but we are willing to compromise a price until we have one set in stone. ETA 5 days. And the chest behind you is a book and quill explaining how everything works and how to buy the contract. Thanks and enjoy. Book and quill, please read. Thank you. Looking forward to building. Direct questions to CT Shock using chat or Lane's Discord chat. Well, either somebody stole the book or he hasn't gotten around to building the book yet. But this is cool. This is cool. I'll definitely be hiring him for some builds because, I mean, as you can tell, Cody's a much better builder than I mean, just his base is so gorgeous, and he built this massive bridge that connects our two little islands. It just looks so good. And then there's mine. And then mine looks so boring. But fear not, by the end of this episode, we will have an epic looking starter base. I just know it. And my first order of business is going to actually work on the grand entrance to my place because there's actually no way to officially get inside of my house. I just gonna have to fly around with some rockets and land in my house. But all the time, people place around different blocks and stuff to try to get up into my house, and it drives me crazy. Like that. That cobblestone right there. It's so annoying. But if you run to the edge of this big bridge, I've actually started working on a little pathway that's going to go into the side of this mountain that will connect to a room that's actually on the inside of my house. And this is one of the entrances over on the outside here. It's kind of on the top layer. So this will essentially be the grand entrance into my place. So for this project, I've got three main issues to tackle. The first being the actual path to get to the main entrance. I want this to look nice, but I don't want it to look too nice because the kind of goal that I'm going for with my whole house is that it's kind of docky looking, and docks aren't meant to be super clean. So I want this to look nice, but I don't want it to look too nice. I want it to look a little roughed up. The second problem is actually designing the entrance, which I think I'm going to go for kind of like a cave entrance, similar to what I've got going on downstairs with the lush cave look. I think I'm going to go for the same thing with the entrance. But I kind of also want to have an entrance with a similar design of the rest of my house with this kind of spruced up dock look. I'm just not entirely sure how I'm going to do that. I'm not a great visionary, okay? I'm not good at picturing how I want things to look and building it. I kind of have to sit here and go through trial and error many times before I get anything that looks remotely good. And then problem number 3 is going to be actually connecting the entrance to this main room and having this main room look really nice, because I do want this kind of main room to still have a cave feel, but I want it to be a little bit more homey, like it's the actual proper entrance to a house. But first things first, let's get this path looking better, which I think I'm going to go for a similar feel that I've got going on in here with this little dirt path going along and some moss and some lanterns, things like that. Because luckily, I've got a lot of bones and I've got a good amount of... Oh my God! Oh my God. Where did it even come from? Well, anyways, now that that's fixed, let's go ahead and head on up here and get to work on this path. I do want to thicken up the side of this path because I don't really want the edge of the path to be the edge of the dirt, if that makes sense. I want to be able to have some railing that goes along the side of the path, so I need to kind of bulk this up just a little bit. And simple change, but I do think it's going to help out a lot in the long term. And now the real easy part, we just got to moss up the place, which basically just requires a lot of bone meal. Just kind of run it along, placing some bone meal. it's already looking so much better. And I think the last thing that it really needs are some light posts to help light up the path, which I think obviously the most simple solution for this problem is a few fence posts, maybe 4 high, 1 over with one of these bad boys on it. I don't know. Something seems off about this. I don't particularly like this. Maybe I just need more of them. Maybe if I throw in another one here. Yeah, it looks a little better. I almost feel like it needs something to like stand on. It needs something at the bottom to kind of hold it up some. I feel like it just looks kind of awkward being stuck in the ground like that. It looks better. It still just looks, it looks awkward to me. I can't figure it out. What if I just put this log underneath it? That looks a little bit better. That looks a little bit better. I like that better than that. Yeah, I think it does look better now that I've got more of them in. I don't know. I might figure out something else. Might have an aha moment while I'm building out the rest of the base. Now on to problem number 2, which is going to be how to actually design the entrance to the base. First thing I'm going to do is actually make the hole of the cave as big as I want it to be. That way I know how big I actually need to make the entrance, which basically just looks a lot like swinging my pickaxe in a lot of different directions. Well, if I had haste 2, where's my haste 2 at? Yeah, now I can actually just swing my pickaxe around and make a big old hole, kind of in the shape that I'm gonna want this thing to look like. And just like that, our little tunnel is nice and lit up. And the last little bit of detail we need to add is actually to the ceiling of it, because currently the bottom is looking nice, the sides are looking okay, but the top is just all bland and stony. Could you get out of here? Anyways, the top is just all bland and stony, and I want it to look a little more lush, because that's kind of the problem that I'm starting to have downstairs, is that the bottom is looking real nice, the sides are looking okay, but the top is just, it's not where it needs to be. And already this is starting to look much better. It looks so good. I like it. It looks good. Now, the last thing I actually need for this bit of the build is to actually add some infrastructure to the front of this, because as of right now, it's just kind of an open cave, which I think is kind of a cool concept, that it's just kind of like an open cave entrance to the house. But I would also like for there to be an actual, like, official built entrance to the house, if that makes sense. Again, I quite literally have no idea what I actually want to do with this, so I'm just kind of throwing in some blocks. And I guess I'll see what it looks like eventually. Just first glance at what I've built, I think I like where this is going, but I think it needs to be a little bit wider. I think it's kind of awkward that it's like the exact same width as my cave. I think it needs to be 1 block wider on each side. First design, this is what I came up with. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's a little two-dimensional. Like, I feel like it just kind of goes straight up, and it needs some kind of way of expanding to the sides, because I don't really like that it just kind of sits by itself, because the whole front of my base is kind of like a big maze. Like, everything connects so well and everything. And then this is just so standoffish. I don't think I like it. I think I'm going to end up keeping it, but I just got to figure out, I don't know if maybe I add like another entrance like up here that this goes back to, or some kind of staircase that this can go down and connect to the bridge, something along those lines. It just needs something a little more to it. But that being said, I am glad that I ended up actually adding something instead of just leaving it as an empty hole, because it does kind of tie my base together. Like, you can tell that that is an entrance to my base. All in all, I'm happy with this, but it needs improvement. It needs a lot of improvement. The last thing I want to get done before ending today's episode is taking the moss that I have over on the right side and carrying it over to cover the rest of my mountain. I think adding a little bit of terraforming is actually going to make more of a difference than I think it will. unfortunately didn't get around to working on the actual inside of my base. I just ran out of time working on the whole outside. That took a whole lot longer than I actually thought it was going to. But if you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave it like and subscribe. I would appreciate it very, very much. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.